Start this recording. So we started talking the last few weeks prior to me getting a little sick about finding our superpowers for 2023. And we're like closing in on 2023. And I feel like I'm behind the 8 ball on helping people get to this. And so I posted in our page, if you're not in there, make sure that you get an invite all your friends there that are in business, because we really have some massive plans for 2023 to create some really great, consistent business building activity that's going to be measurable. And I really firmly believe, after doing lots of digging and research on the people who are I'm going to talk to you network marketers, because the main source of people who are on here are in network marketing. When I look across the board at all of my experience in network marketing over the last 11, 12 years, and the people that I have come in contact with, and the events that I've put on, and the stages I've been able to speak on, and the relationships I've been able to create from all of that, I look at and can take a really good picture of my social media and know what people are doing and what's working, because the people that I am connected to on my social media are pretty high level top 1%ers across the board in network marketing. So really great view of the landscape of what works and what doesn't work. I can see very quickly, because I know who is who and who's at the top of which companies and what kind of tactics they're using, because I study it. And over the course of time, there is a few things that I have realized are really working for people out there. And there's this phase of attraction marketing that came along. And obviously there's all of the tools that Sydney teaches you on social media, which are all very important. And you have to find your niche, what works for your network and what works for your business, your products, your service, and your brand. The one thing that stands out amongst all of these people who have created success in network marketing is that none of them spam their products. They do talk about their products, because you got to talk about your products to have a business, right? But they do not spam them. They do have a following of people because of their personal brand. And so after really digging through that and me taking, I don't want to say a break on social media, because in no way, shape, or form have I taken a break on social media. I've definitely taken a break from posting anything about products or a lot about products in months now, maybe 4, 5, 6 months. And some people question that. I needed to, so that I could start to separate product and service from Jessica Green. And I could start starting to trickle in who Jessica Green was and create a following based on that, rather than based on a product. So that no matter what I went, where I went, what I decided to do, what products and services I decided to share with my network, they were coming along because they bought me first and not the product. That makes me nimble. Now, your network marketing companies or the companies that you work for aren't necessarily going to love that idea. The ones that are more progressive, excuse me for continuously clearing my throat. It's because I'm still, cleaning up this act. The companies that are more progressive and do care about what's in it for you more than they care about what's in it for them are the ones that the companies you will see out there are expanding and growing and attracting more people to their companies. Same thing goes for you. Think of yourself as the company. The more you focus on what's in it for them, the more you're going to attract the people to you and to buy your product, service opportunities. We unfortunately have gotten a lot of companies out there that do not really want you to brand yourself, because if you decide that you need to go somewhere else, your following follows you. What do you want, though? Pay no attention to what the company wants, because if the company cuts you off tomorrow or goes out of business or stops selling the product that has made you what you are, what are you doing for income? What's your next move? Right? So all the people that, I'm not saying don't brand yourself a little bit and align yourself with the company that you're with. I absolutely think that people should know what you sell. There is not a fine line. There is a line between attraction marketing and totally covering up what you do, like grabbing your products and taking pictures of them and doing this, I think is so icky. I wouldn't buy products from somebody like that. I think there's a line that you can do this tactfully, branding yourself, and also allowing people to know what you do so that people know to come to you and they can get those products and services from you, but they are not spammed by you. I'm telling you, you will sell some products to the easy cherry picking people by spamming your products, but you're going to scare the majority of people off. So you can keep doing that and scrape and claw at a few here and a few there and a few here and a few there. Over the course of years, you might have a small business that you sell some products. But if you keep spamming, you are going to have more people run from you than you do attract you. Okay, so there's my little speech on that. There's plenty that I've watched and learned, the top people in the network marketing industry, how they do things. It is definitely not spamming their products. You can go follow them yourselves, figure out who all of them are, follow them, I promise you, or you could just take my word for it. Okay. So here's why I keep digging at the superpowers. And the reason why I ask a few people to get on the hot seat, and we may go just a little bit over this morning, and I apologize for that, but I need this point to be driven home, because you aren't filling out the sheet, because I get copies of them. So a couple of things. Either you don't believe that this is important for you. Okay. Either you don't feel like this is important to you and you'd rather just keep doing what you're doing and spam your products, which I'm telling you doesn't work. Or you haven't had the time, which is understandable. We've all got things going on. It's not at the top of your to-do list, of which it should be, because we're going to roll into 2023 real hot. And I'm going to base everything off of this. So if you haven't done it, you're going to have a hard time following what I'm going to try to teach, because you're not going to be able to implement it correctly. Or you have filled it out, or you've attempted to fill it out, and you're still coming up with the same things. And I'm realizing that people are not quite getting what the point I'm trying to get across. So I'm not looking for your characteristics. I'm not. I'm looking for you to really dig deep on what you can monetize on. So if you keep telling me things like, I attract people because, and sorry, a couple of you have done this, so this is for everybody. Okay. This is like, nobody's done anything wrong here. We're just going to course correct, and I'm going to help you dig to what it's really supposed to be. You're not going to be able to necessarily quickly monetize on, well, people come to me because I'm easy to talk to. We need more than that. Okay. The form I had you fill out asks for way more than that. So that cannot be what you came up with after going through the form. It can't be. And if it is, I'm still like not portraying this correctly. So I ask a few people to hop into the hot seat, hot seat. And we're going to go through this form a little bit together so I can point some things out. And I want you guys to take notes. And I am literally at the point of begging you, please fill out the form. It is not for me. It is for you. I promise it is for you. And the things that I'm going to build on throughout the next few weeks, months, and 2023 are all going to be based off your superpowers. So when I tell you that the top 1%ers in network marketing are branding themselves and what they can do for you rather than their product, they have figured out what their superpowers are. It's working. And when I say superpowers, there's part of me that's trying to say it's your brand. Okay. But I want you to think about it more than just your brand, because when we tell people to figure out what their brand is, I think they get stuck. I have gotten stuck there because I'm like, I don't know what my brand is. I don't know. I like the color green. It is also my last name. What else? I help people in business. We're going to dig so much deeper than that, but I can't dig deeper with you guys until I know you've done the work. It does not take that long to fill out that form. And when we're done talking about it today, by next week, it is your homework by Monday to fill out that form. Please, I'm begging you. Okay. It does not take that long, and it will help you. I promise it will be worth your time. You know how sometimes you have to plan, do, review. We have to go back and fix the things in the beginning so that we can then start to move forward again in the correct way. But if we keep doing the same things over and over and over without correcting the things that are wrong, we are just going to keep running our heads up against a wall. You are going to stay stuck at the same rank that you're at. You're going to continue to do the same things in 2023 that didn't get you to your goals in 2022 that you have written down for the last 4 years in a row. And I know I'm right because I've been working with a lot of you for a long time. Okay. So we're going to do this and we're going to do it together. All right. Off my soapbox for a second. I'm going to pull up my screen, and I had, I'm going to start with Kathleen. If you can unmute yourself, that would be helpful. And I'm going to start by just kind of going through and asking you some questions, but I will say three of you actually answered my post in the page in our, in our Hustle and Slay Extreme Entrepreneurs page. Only 3 of you answered me, which is about accurate for how many people filled out the form. Okay. And Kathleen was the one that probably got the furthest. However, I know who her mentor is, and I know who she coaches with. So she's already done some of this work in the background. So she put, after filling out the form, these are the things that came up the most: the ability to listen and encourage wellness habits. We've gotten to the tip of the iceberg there, Kathleen. We're going to go through together in front of everybody a little bit of this form. And if you could just answer me some of these questions, I'm not saying we're going to figure it out today, but I want to show people what the work we're supposed to be doing so that we can get to it. So can you list to me, and if it's not 5, if it's 2, if it's 3, I don't care. Can you make a list of 5 people you admire?
Oh, yes. Danelle Delgado, Rita Kurdock, Aaron Burke, Jessica Green, and yeah.
You didn't have to say that, but thank you.
I know,
you get brownie points.
And Sarah Johnson, and I'll explain a little bit. Is it because I've watched you and I've watched these other people? Sarah Johnson is someone that's in the same company I'm with, and she's young, but she's on fire. She's has multiple companies and not just with us. And she's really good at what she does. All these people are very consistent and have done what you talk about. And I follow them because that's who they are. And I know the different things that they do, but that's why I follow them. And I want to be able to offer things to people just to help improve their lives in general. So I got to find that lane.
I know everybody except for the last person that you mentioned that's within your company. I know the rest of them. And I would agree, those are definite people to follow. And I think that you've picked them wisely. And I would encourage you to go find because I know that wellness habits in the wellness realm is the direction you're going down. I would only recommend go finding maybe 1 or 2 more people that are very specific wellness, because I know the background of a few of those people, and what they're doing is definitely they have branded themselves in what they do, but maybe not as much in the wellness category because that's not their niche, right? That's not the direction. So maybe find somebody who's really branded themselves in the wellness area too, but you are absolutely on the right track there. I know that you started an infinite list of what you do well. We're not going to go into that infinite list because it would be a lot, right? But if you could give me like top 3 things that you do well. And I know, I'll say this, I know it's hard sometimes to fill out these forms and this type of stuff, because not all of us like talking about ourselves or digging deep on the things that we're so great at. We're so good at telling other people what they're great at. That's why one of the things I tell you to do is go ask, like 3 of the closest people to you, what are you really good at? What do people come to you for advice for? But out of what you believe you do well, can you give me 3 things that you believe you do really well?
Yeah. And one of the things about answering this is that it seems just so basic, like it's not earth shattering, like cooking. I mean, I love to cook, and I cook really well. So cooking is one of them. Gosh, I can sing. And gardening.
I love it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I do like to encourage people a lot. I mean, that's one of the things that I like to do. I'm also a spiritual director.
Oh, you are?
Mm-hmm.
See, these are things I did not know. I did not know any of those things about you. Okay. And I'm not saying that's not because you haven't posted them on social
Yeah, that's
media.
okay.
It's just with the amount of people that we follow on social media, you don't always see everybody's everything. Okay. What comes naturally to you?
Oh, I gotta go back to cooking.
Okay.
If it's something else, what else is natural to me? Exercise, walking specifically, being a dog mom to that fur ball behind me.
Okay. Name me like top two proudest accomplishments.
A really big, huge accomplishment was moving after living in South Carolina for 35 years, coming back to Pennsylvania. And I didn't know how hard that was going to be. So I'm going to say, like, working through that process after I got back here to be good again.
Can I ask why? I mean, this is a total just like, why did you move back?
Because it was 35 years. I moved to South Carolina when I was 23 years old. Everything is there. My roots are so deep, and I left everything. I left friends. I left my church family. I left my work family and came back to an area that's not all that sunshiny. This is
But
kind of
why did you do it? Yeah,
because of
why
my
did
mom.
okay,
My
okay.
mom, she's 92 now.
Understandable. I knew there had to be a reason why you would do that
Yeah.
to yourself. Okay. I'm just scrolling through I'm gonna just ask a couple of more questions that are on this forum, and I'm doing it for a reason. What makes you different or weird?
What makes me weird? Some people think I'm weird because I'm gay. Some of the gay people think I'm weird because I've been with my partner for 40 years. So
I don't think that's weird, but I get what you're saying.
yeah. Makes me weird. That was a hard one for me. I don't even remember what I wrote now.
That's okay. That's
Um,
okay.
what makes me weird?
What stands out about you that not is a characteristic of everybody?
No, you
See,
have me.
some of these questions are hard, but there's a reason
Yeah.
for digging through them and figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. Makes me weird.
I know Sydney, she likes to take feet pictures and put them on OnlyFans, and I'm still trying to figure out, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Okay, but that's okay. You can keep digging deep on that one. Well, the last question I'll ask you, your friends, what are they always asking you for advice on, or family? What are they always coming to you and asking for advice on?
Pretty much just kind of more like a relationship thing, like how to handle things that are going on. You know, when people have difficulties, it's like they just kind of need a space to help figure it out. And
Okay.
I know that I kind of just give that space. I don't not it's not they know I'm not judgmental at all. So they're comfortable enough with me just to talk about. And people do ask me about cooking.
Yeah, if you're naturally good at it, I can see why. All right, one last question. What would you do if money didn't matter? What would be your day-to-day if money didn't matter anymore?
I would travel, and I probably would volunteer more with either pet rescue or something like that. Or even like some people volunteer at park services, something outside. I just like being outside.
My parents do a lot of that. I get it.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so that's obviously not the whole form, and we are obviously going to go over today. So I can also do a few more of these hot seats if we want to. If like other people want to do this, I'm happy to maybe schedule another Zoom time, and I can do this with more people, because it is super important to me that we go through this and figure this out. And sometimes we just have to make you sit in a seat and do it, right? Not that you did not fill out your form, Kathleen, you did fill out your form. So you are not one of those that I am talking to, but I really appreciate you volunteering to hop in here and talk openly and freely about it. Because if you guys can see, that's just a few of the questions. And if you can see what I dumped a bunch of this on paper, some of her answers. What I'm looking for is not I'm going to go back to this one page. I had some people answer me that they have the ability to make people feel comfortable. They have the ability to connect with other people and get to know them. They can inspire them. But going into 2023, as you're building your brand, I want you to think about, if those are what the things that you're coming up with, how are you monetizing that? How are you attracting people to you to turn that into a business that's attracting people to then buy your product, service, and opportunity? So when you look at all these things that Kathleen just spit out to us, what I'm looking for you to do is now take all of that, dump it on a piece of paper, and start, and what we're going to do with that is start to figure out what are the things that are going to attract most people to you to find out more. So she's naturally good at cooking. Now, you may be doing this, you may not. Like I said, I can't see everybody's social media. So as much as I would love to be following every single person and know all of the things that you already do, I apologize if I name some of those and you're already doing them, okay? Now this is going to sound weird, but just roll with me on it, okay? She is naturally good at cooking and she can sing. Do you know that if she went live doing cooking things, maybe twice a week, or made reels or TikToks, or had a page that she invited people to, and she was the singing cook, how many people do you think would start following her to just because they would be attracted to that, because it's different? It is her brand. It is something that people would want to see more of, because I'm not going to call it weird because that's not weird, but it's different, right? And I'm not saying that that's what you need to do, Kathleen. I'm just starting to pick out a couple of things to help people understand where I'm going with this. I know that you're probably good at talking to people and people coming to you for advice and being able to encourage them and help them with their wellness habits. There are millions of people out there that do that, though. Am I right? Millions. We need to set you apart. We got to figure out a way to build Kathleen's brand so that it's attracting people maybe in a different way, because gosh darn it, there is a lot of people out there doing a lot of things on social media, and it sure is high time that we figure out what we are really good at and what sets us apart from the crowd out there. And that's going to mean getting a little bit out of our comfort zone, maybe, right? So I'm not saying that you have to be the singing cook. I'm just saying, if those things come naturally to you, I'd be leaning on them hard, because cooking goes along with helping people create healthier habits, right? Because couldn't we do that and utilize that? I also, and I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here, not to be offensive, but you brought it up. You said that the fact that you are gay and you've been with the same partner for, did you say 40 years? Maybe is one of those things that makes you weird or different. I'd say different, not weird, right? I know where you were going with that, but I would say, I didn't even know that about you at all. But I definitely think that there is a lot of people in that category that would really like to align with somebody like you, to feel more comfortable, and that maybe they aren't so different. And maybe that they do have a community of people who are very successful, business owning, social media gathering, singing, cooking, wellness habit, love to come and hang out with Kathleen because she's super easy and open to talk to. And she's a little different, just like me. We aren't so different after all. And I know there's a lot of people in your category that would sure like a community of people like that to align with and be around, so that they don't feel so different or strange or weird, or however we want to categorize that, right? I think there's a whole lot here that you've given us that you could really hone in on and create that brand for Kathleen that would attract people very specifically to Kathleen. But you might have to go out a little bit on a limb and get a little bit uncomfortable. And the reason why I asked the one question about what would you do if money wasn't an object anymore is because when we get past the money part of things, because the money catches a lot of us up. Well, if I didn't have to worry about the money so much, I might be able to just go do this more freely. What you really want to do is go travel and volunteer more, right? Obviously, you want to build a business, you want to help people, you want to help people with their wellness habits, but you want to be able to travel more and volunteer more. So when we're going and thinking about what we want to do and create as a brand, definitely be sprinkling some of that in there, because that's what you really love. Because when money is not in the way, that's really what you want to be spending your time doing. So in order for us to jump out of bed every morning and go, we could be really naturally good at something and not like doing it, right? I'm assuming you like cooking. I'm assuming you like singing, but you might be naturally good at both those things, but don't really want to do them every day. And that I'm not saying that that's the case with you, but for some people that might be the case. There's some people who are very naturally good at basketball, but actually don't like getting up every day and going and doing that, right? So we need to sprinkle in the things that we really love to do into that brand as we're creating it. Now, I know we didn't probably get the thing, the one thing, the superpower, but I'm hoping what we did was helped you hone in just a little bit more on what we should be going after. Did that help you guys just a little bit? I don't want you coming out of that forum going, I'm really good at listening to people. I'm a really empathetic person. I'm really charismatic, so people come to me. That alone is not going to get you where we want to go in 2023. We got to get bold. We got to get really bold. Sydney's funny. She's naturally funny. That can't be it though. We got to dig through her stuff and figure out what that brand is. She's very good and loves jumping out of bed and helping people with social media. Now, I realize we're already at 9:30. If you can stick around, great. One of my other people was Jill. Do you have time to stick around or do you need to hop off? I've got like 15 minutes and I have to like leap out the door.
I can stand.
Okay. So I want to go through some of the same questions with you just really quick. And let's see if we can't hone in just a little bit more on you, because you are also one that filled out the form. And Mary, maybe I'll do this again on Monday, and we'll kind of keep going through this until people really start getting this form filled out. And if you guys don't have the form, it is in that Hustle and Slay Entrepreneur page. Please go in there and find it and get it filled out and start working through this. But okay, so Jill, I want you to answer me. Who are 3 people you admire and you're following? You're watching what they're doing.
Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, and Eric Thomas. Those are my top.
Outstanding. Okay. Give me 3 things that come natural to you that you do well.
That I do well. Talk to people, be social, kind of silly, a witty sense of humor. And I would probably say just being a hard worker, self-motivated.
I love
never
that.
giving up, that kind of thing.
I mean, you can direct planes really good too, right?
Yeah, that's the,
Okay.
but you know, when you said things you don't love anymore, I was like, oh, that's so me.
Well, I'm not, things that you do well and come naturally to you do not have to be things that you love.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But we do want to know what those are, because you may really have a niche somewhere.
I know
that
yeah.
could
Well,
really
it is true.
benefit.
Air traffic control is one of the things. And I think because I never really talk about it too much. So I don't know why.
Understand. I want you to keep going on that infinite list. Okay. Because we definitely need to come up with some more things. You know, when we were just doing Kathleen's, she came up with, she's really good at cooking, singing, gardening. Those are tangible things we can really utilize. So I want you to come up with a few more tangible things and less characteristic things. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I realized that when you were going through it with her. That sounds good.
Okay, because we can really catapult off things that are not characteristics about us. We can sprinkle in the characteristics. When you can talk to just about anybody, that's a huge skill set, because not everybody can do that. We definitely want to play on that, but we need something to go talk to them about.
Yeah.
We want to know what Jill is really good at and some of the things that come naturally to her, so that we can catapult off of those. Okay. Proudest accomplishments. Give me 1 or 2.
Retired after 30 years of being an air traffic controller. And then I would just say being a mom.
Oh my gosh. I love the retired after 30 years. Okay. Cause you still seem so freaking young
Yeah.
that I think a lot of people would love to know how you accomplish that and what are you doing next.
Yeah, that's good.
And I do think there is a complete brand around the retiree.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can talk to people and be really social, silly, and witty. And I know that you're comfortable doing TikTok and reels and all of that stuff. I think you could create an entire brand on, I don't name, I don't, you wouldn't name it this, but we can come up with that later. That's where Danelle, that's why Kathleen and I follow people like Danelle, because she can take what we're doing right now. And I've never seen anybody like her do it the way that she does it. I won't even pretend to come close to it. She'll take your characteristics, your superpower, what you want to do and what you love, and she'll turn it into a brand like that. And you're like, how did I never think of that? And it's like, everyone that's sitting in the room is going, I want that brand. I want to build that, right? So there's a reason why we surround ourselves with her, because she is an extremely brilliant human. And maybe I can get her on one of these Monday mornings to, snap a few of those off for us. So I really like where that's going though. You're trying to build a business in network marketing. It is your second coming. You already had a career for 30 years and successfully retired from that career. And you're now on to the what's next. Do you know how many people, females your age, that are out there in this world that are meant for more after they retire from their career and they need help figuring that out?
Yeah.
They're bored, they're desperate, they're lonely, they're depressed. They've already hit their mountaintop, but they know that they want more. Right? How many of those females are out there that you could go help with your silly, witty, talkative, social personality that you have, right? And you have the experience under your belt to go talk about having that career, and then what?
Yeah, that's true, because it's funny you say that, because in my other coaching stuff that I do, I've kind of been focused on, and I've been debating and struggling with this. And I think this is where I kind of shut things off, and this is where I want to go. But I was doing the part that I was missing before, was having time to be with my kids, like missing out on all that time when they were little. And not that I still don't relate to that, but I know I'm in a different part of my life. So I'm like, it's hard, but I like this better because this is who I am now.
Yeah.
And that helps.
And you have the experience to draw off of. We did a accountability Zoom the other night, and I think you were on there, and we were talking numbers, and a bunch of us had done like this blitz of reach outs. And why I get less ghosts and more responses is because my experience level in what we're doing has already been proven. Your experience level in already having a career, mastering it, dominating it, retiring from it, and moving on to your second coming, you have experience in. We need to go talk to people about that. We need to create a group around that. We need to attract people that want that. And then you're going to find the people that want Jill in their life.
Yeah.
That is your superpower.
Okay. Well, that is awesome. Thank you.
Yes. This is what I need you guys to do. This is why I want you filling out the form. It is so important to dig through all of that stuff so that we can figure out what that is for you, because I'm telling you, this is where 2023 for me and for Sydney is going. But we need to know what we're helping you with. I don't just want to know, what does Kristen Scott want to do with her life? I don't want to know. I do want to know that because I love you, but I want to know, how can we catapult off of that and hone in on a superpower that we can go attract a gazillion people to you because you have experience there, and people will know you, that know you, love you, trust you, will follow that and follow you into doing just about anything because you have a track record and you are successful at those things, or they find it funny and quirky and something they want to be around. Right? We've got to figure that out. And it can't just be because you're a nice person. We're all nice people. I think we are. I'm pretty sure we're all nice people. Right? Okay. I'm not even going to go through any more of the list with you, Jill, because I think you did fill out this form. And if you haven't, maybe go back to it and dig through it just a little bit more. Maybe write down a few more things that are not just characteristics, but things you are naturally good at, things that you do well. What makes you weird and different? because that weird and different, you guys, is one of the two of the most important questions on there. What makes you weird and different? And what would you do if money was no object? Because we need you jumping out of bed wanting to do this like your hair is on fire. You cannot wait to go save the world, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you going on the days that suck the life out of you and you get sick for 2 weeks and you can't get out of your bed. Right? We got to go do the things that light our soul on fire. So I got to know what you would do if money wasn't an issue for you anymore. I also need to know why you're weird and why you're different, because we're going to go collect all those weird and different people just like you, because they're going to want to follow you to be a part of what you're doing, because it makes them feel accepted, part of a community, a culture that they align with. So we need to know those things about you. Okay. We went a little bit over this morning. I greatly appreciate you guys. If you want to do this, if I have enough people that want to do what we just did this morning and dig through more, I will either schedule some more Zoom time where we can get everybody on, or I'll just turn Mondays for the next couple of weeks into this until we get to the new year. I have no problem doing that. I want to help you guys master this and figure this out. Okay. I hope this was helpful. Please go fill out the form. I don't want Zoom zombies. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for people I can actually help and coach and build into 2023. So you just hopping on here and listening is fine. If that's all you want out of this, I want you to go fill out the form so I can help you. All right. And just send me a private message if you want to be one of these hot seats. I know, Mary, you would be up next. If I had some other volunteers and I forgot about you, please let me know. Just send me a message and we'll work through these. And I think it will help everybody kind of figure things out. And then I will bug Danelle and see if we can get her on one of these Monday mornings. I know today's Wednesday, but I'll be back to Mondays soon, I promise, like this week. All right, you guys have a fabulous day.